Hunagowcast here from Hunagowcasts, and you're listening to the BS Network.
Hi, this is Pleakley from Lilo and Stitch, and when I say Pleakley, I mean it's really pathetic 59-year-old Kevin McDonald from the Kids in the Hall, stupid head, and you're listening to the Magic Our Way podcast with Kevin, Danny, Eli, and Lee! Woohoo!
Jumbo, everyone!
Harambe!
And welcome to another edition of
The Magic Our Way.
Magic Our Way.
Magic Our Way!
Magic Our Way!
The Magic Our Way podcast.
They are truly magical and whatnot.
Asante Sun, everyone. You're listening to the Magic Our Way podcast from New Orleans, Louisiana, in the United States of America. We are artistic buffs talking about Disney stuff. And this is a show in which every opinion is welcome. MagicOurWay.com is where you can find us. Today, we are talking about a couple of news stories, including post-COVID visit to the Magic Kingdom. My name is Kevin.
And I'm Danny.
And on the show, we follow the Disney concept of edutainment, where we focus on your entertainment, and along the way, you just might learn a thing or two.
Hey.
As always, to join in our discussion, we have our resident comic genius from ivorycomics.com, Mr. Eli Ivory. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing good, man. This new intro, man, fire me up, man. I like it.
It's fun. It's fresh. It's exciting. It's new.
It's new. It's just, everything's just so out there.
I just want to just hug myself.
Just you hug yourself.
I did.
Like a straight jacket. Nothing's wrong with loving yourself.
How often do you love yourself in a week?
How much time you got?
And speaking of loving yourself, we have a resident travel agent from Magical Moments Vacations, the Shaggy TA, Lee Lastavica. Hi, Lee.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey.
Good.
Hey, what's up?
Fantastic.
All right.
Wacky weather, man, Lee.
All right. On the show, yeah. What's going on out there?
A lot of crappy weather. That's what's going on.
Yeah,
man.
I was going to ask you, Lee, are you getting any of the effects of that Hannah hurricane that's coming through?
It's pouring down. And, yeah, it jacked up my whole pool situation, man.
The outside pool.
Mr. Turtle's overflowing? Oh, no.
Slip and slide. What's happening?
Yeah, man.
Well, guys, look, if you haven't had a chance to, make sure you go over to our YouTube channel, because Lee just released the latest this past weekend. And
especially for you, Eli.
Lee, tell them what you cooked this weekend, Lee.
Eli, what do we think I made this week on the?
If he did it for you, what do you think he did for cooking magic? What
Turkey leg? Turkey leg, yeah.
Turkey legs, smoked turkey legs, y'all.
Ooh, okay.
How'd it come out?
Pretty good, man. I don't know if it's authentic Disney recipe because I think it's better, but and my turkey leg wasn't all pink like a big piece of ham. But it was flavorful. It was tasty. But yeah, I thought it turned out pretty good, man.
I'll check that out, sir. I will check that out.
Was your turkey leg comically huge?
No, that was part of the problem. Like, I cannot find like the ostrich leg size turkey legs. You can't just go down to the grocery store and buy those.
No, you're right. You're right.
I think I said on the video, like, you must have to own a theme park to be able to get because a Renaissance festival or something. Because those cannot be found in your average grocery store.
No. That's you get those turkey legs every single time one of those ostriches gets in front of your safari vehicle in Kilimanjaro.
Yeah.
Whenever that happens, they just, ooh, shoot, we hit the ostrich. All right.
Legs.
Yeah.
Good opportunity.
Well, guys, look, today's show, man, we're talking about a couple pieces of news, man. We're talking about the movie releases that have been put on hiatus. And also, too, a couple of contraband things that were caught at the International Gateway at Epcot. And our main segment, we got Downs on the Grounds coming on.
Downs on the Grounds.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they're talking about their first visit to the Magic Kingdom post-COVID. Or actually, not post-COVID, but in COVID times.
COVID.
Yeah.
Downs on the Grounds. They escaped.
Post-COVID, it's over?
Yeah, no, I caught myself when I said that. It's like, no, it's still ongoing as of this podcast.
That is crazy. That's amazing.
So we got a lot to talk about, y'all. So enough of our jibber jabber. Let's go discuss some magic.
Be our guest. Be our guest. Put our service to the test. Tie your napkin.
And here we are in guest services, and this is a segment in which we get to Oh shit! I forgot what you
Service you, the listener.
Service you, the listener. Oh my God, it's been so long, but man, we have a great one. We wanted to make sure that we recognize today. Dan, I'm gonna turn it over to you so you can take the lead on this.
Yeah, I just wanted to give a shout out to Al. He emailed us about the last show that we did, which was, well, not the last show. I guess it would have been the show before that.
Before that, yeah.
About the COVID thing with the mask. We had a lot of people reach out to us on Facebook, but he actually emailed the show, and we just outlined some things, sent me a link, and we chatted, and he was a really cool guy. And so I just wanted to say thanks for the email, and thanks for listening, man. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, we definitely appreciate you. Anytime our listeners reach out to us, we will respond to you, hopefully in a timely manner. So stay tuned to the end of the show if you want to learn more ways to get in touch with us. But you can definitely shoot us an email at show@magicourway.com. Mohicans, ladies and gentlemen, Dateline, Saturday, July 25th, 2020. And this is a segment in which we discuss all the news and happenings in the world of Disney today. First up, there are a couple of movies, things that are being delayed by Disney. First of all, Mulan is no longer being released on August 21st and is now unset on the Disney calendar. Indefinitely, as it were.
Ooh.
Second thing, all dated Star Wars films and Avatar sequels have been pushed back 1 year on the calendar.
That's probably a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the last thing, the company says that theater closures and production shutdowns during the global coronavirus pandemic caused it to make a number of adjustments to its slate. So who knows what's coming out in Disney's theater world?
Oh, boy.
For the rest of this year.
Yeah. Okay, so Mulan.
Indefinitely.
Yeah, it's not really, I'm not that concerned about that. Were y'all looking forward to Mulan a lot? I mean,
probably more so than Avatar
kind of,
sequels.
yeah.
I know that.
Oh, yeah,
If I had to rank it with those three, yeah.
Yeah.
I got the geisha book, so it would have been inspiration, but yeah.
The outrage from the people who were like, oh no, the Avatar sequels aren't coming out. Did y'all catch that? Yeah, neither did I.
Yeah, I wasn't worried about that. Yeah, I'm totally not worried about that. You can stay blue for all I care. Put on a mask.
Well, the Star Wars films, I'm like, Star Wars films?
Yeah, I thought they were done with that.
I just know The Mandalorian coming out in October is according to what they're saying.
That's what's so weird about that they took the opportunity to go ahead and announce, oh yeah, we have to delay our Star Wars films. And it's like, y'all don't even have a script. Nobody's been casted.
Right.
You're not even scouting locations. No principal photography nothing is being done. The idea that you need to postpone something that isn't even close to a process of being ready to move forward, ready to shoot. I think that's just some, we have this whole thing figured out. We knew exactly what we were going to do with the next three films, but what can we do, guys? COVID.
Maybe they want like an internet like backlash from fans, like, oh no, what do you mean you're canceling this Star Wars? I want to see it. I want to see it. So be like, oh God, people still want to see this franchise. Awesome. Check the box.
Well, Lee, what do you think about all this? Do you feel very strongly about any of these being delayed? Or are you sad? Are you crying? Are you making your beard wet with tears?
Wow.
Oh, wet was something else. But
Saturday night and I ain't got nobody. Or it should be somebody. I was gonna say.
But I mean, nothing really that I just had to see. I was probably looking forward to Mulan just because to see how it did against some of the other live action whatevers. But it's not the end of the world. Avatar, I could give two shits, really. Like, I didn't even know there was a date for Avatar, so who cares?
There was a date for Mulan more so than Avatar.
Yeah, I thought that was more on the horizon. Yeah.
Yeah, the thing that I'm worried about is like by the time, because you've seen this a lot where the distribution studios are doing one of two things. They're either putting these out on video on demand, and you're paying $19.99 every time to watch these things until they allow you to finally just buy it for $19.99. Or they are like, okay, we're just going to kick the can down the road and open it months later, next year. A lot of stuff is getting moved to the following year. It makes me wonder, I mean, who thinks that movie theaters are even going to be around? Because by the time movie theaters do open up again, they're not going to have any movies to show.
Yeah, pretty much. And on top of that, they got to still pay to get the movie to display, which they don't have any capital to start with.
It's almost like if you're a movie theater, it doesn't do you any good to open up until it's 2021. Yeah, they're trying to get these things open because they're like, what, AMC is like $5 billion in the hole right now? I can't-
Easily.
Yeah.
I mean, Broadway shows and stuff are shuttered up until January from what I saw. So I
That's
don't
a lot
have
of
anything
popcorn
going on.
That's a lot of popcorn to sell to make up for that. Absolutely.
I don't know how they don't go into bankruptcy by the end of the year if they don't open up and they can't start making any money. But every single new film that's scheduled to come out is like, nope, video on demand or next year. Sorry.
We're going to have an influx of everything next year.
Yeah.
Because the only thing they got going on so far is Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has 4 shows left. And that should kind of butt up against the release of the season 2 of The Mandalorian coming in this fall. And other than the random things that they're releasing on Disney Plus, what else?
What do you got?
I don't know.
What do you got?
They announced that they're going to do Aladdin. They're going to release that kind of like they did Hamilton, like the live broadcast of that.
Yeah.
They did the Disney Cruise thing, the Tangled show and the Disney Cruise. They put that out recently. But yeah, the 2 main franchises so far, Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and The Mandalorian 2. Not 2. Second season. That's all I know of. Am I missing something as far as what we can expect from Disney going forward?
Where does Black Widow? Is Black Widow in Jungle Cruise? Has that officially been pushed to 2021, or is that still in flux?
I know, like Black Widow was, because that was been supposed to come up, but I think they held off on that one.
Well, they definitely held off on it, but when did they hold off on it till?
Well, I pulled up my trusty computer box here, and I discovered that Jungle Cruise has been delayed to 2021. Black Widow, there hasn't been an announcement as of this show, but it's set to release November 6, 2020. So maybe we might hear something the closer we get to November. Who knows? Maybe they're hanging on for dear life, hoping that they can still release it. But yeah, Jungle Cruise was supposed to come out July. It's not, obviously didn't happen because it's July 25th. It was supposed to be yesterday. Not happening, so they pushed that back to 2021.
The Rock says you got to wait.
That's right, yeah.
I mean, do you really see anything happening at all until at least 21?
You know what? You want to hope so. I mean, we're still in July. I mean, that's another, what?
Half a year?
5 months of this?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
a little bit more. I mean,
Yeah.
who wants to think of not being able to take your kids out trick-or-treating? Who wants to think about, not being able to go visit relatives on Christmas? I mean, I'm with you. I mean, does it look like everything's going to change? No. But I mean,
we ain't exactly going in the right direction right now. That's all I'm saying.
I couldn't agree more.
Well, Mohicans, ladies and gentlemen, and my esteemed colleagues, may I suggest that us, as the Magic Our Way podcast, take the responsibility of entertaining our Disney constituents.
Doing the best we can, man. Just doing our part on the front lines, in the bubble.
In the bubble.
We're in the bubble. I don't know if you told y'all, but yeah, we have secluded the Magic Our Way studios.
That's right, yeah.
And Eli sleeps on the couch, and I sleep on the left seat, and Kevin sleeps sitting up.
Yes, I do. That's how I like it.
Hanging from the ceiling.
Right.
I only travel between this house and my house, and that's it. I don't go anywhere else.
So yeah, we quarantine, and that's about it. I mean, so we do our best to stay healthy so we can bring you this show.
And we've kept going throughout this whole pandemic to bring you the magic, man. That's the best thing.
Even when the magic's all broken, even when there's no good news.
Right. That's the magic. It's just making stuff happen.
But we'll bring you some history because there's a lot of history we're going to bring to you guys too that coming down the pipes.
As well as love.
Yes, as well as love.
There it is.
But yeah, we'll be there right with you guys all through this, man. So stick with us. We'll take you through this. We'll whatever. Reach out to us. Let us know what you want to hear from the Magic Our Way podcast, and we'll see what we can do. Show at magicourway.com. And the second news story to break this week is a woman by the name of Unique Smith.
Unique
Monique.
I don't know if it's unique or unique.
I like unique.
Smith. I don't know. It's spelled uniquely.
Why unique?
It is why unique Smith.
Why unique
was yeah. She was arrested
for what?
She tried to get through Epcot's International Gateway, and she happened to have 2 firearms and 20 grams of cannabis.
Whoa!
According to the Orlando Sentinel article,
She just tried to see straight. That's it.
And by going into the International Gateway, I can only imagine that she was looking to have a good time in the World Showcase.
Or shoot some people that came close to her without a mask.
6 feet, mother.
Yeah, you know what I said? What I said?
That's how you social distance.
That's it. That's COVID with you.
But anyway, the Orlando Sentinel article says that she was in line with an adult man and their 7-month-old daughter.
Oh, wow.
And her 7-month-old son. And they found a semi-auto 9mm handgun in plain view.
Damn. A semi-auto. I mean, like, It wasn't even like, oh, I just got this little bitty pistol. I'm sorry, I didn't even notice. It's such a little bitty gun. I didn't even notice it was in my bag.
Look at your little pistol. Oh, that's so cute.
Well, don't let
Carl
the
Knights.
term semi-autos. They're all semi-auto.
Oh, okay.
Well, that tells you which of us is a gun owner. Right?
Exactly.
That's good. But it doesn't matter what the caliber is. You really shouldn't bring that to a family
No,
park.
you shouldn't. And you shouldn't have it in plain view, as the Disney security guard said.
Yeah, like I can
Wow.
understand like accidentally packing one, but two? I mean,
Gotta have backup.
In a diaper bag. How bad is the baby got to do? You got to pull a gun out. Well, that's very unique. Why unique? There you go.
She was unique with that.
I
Like,
think
why the heck? Why? I wouldn't do that.
I think she was taking a rap for her man. That's what I think.
you think the man like, but no one's walking into a park with two guns and children. Like, you know, I doubt that they were going in there. Like, it'd be one thing if this was a guy by himself and they discovered, you know, something like a gun in there and you're like, ooh, I'm glad they got that dude. But you're going in there with two small children. How old were they again?
They were, I think,
One was 7.
Yeah.
7.
7-month-old, and a 7-year-old.
Yeah, because they put it in the diaper bag.
God.
Yeah.
7
I mean,
and 7.
come on.
Why you put weapons and weed in the diaper bag? That's
You know how close it is? If it's in a diaper bag, that means it's in the stroller where the kid's sitting, which means like the kid's like right up against the gun.
yeah.
I mean, did y'all forget that was in there? I mean, it's like, did you not realize you had? Man, this diaper bag's a little bit heavier.
Again, one, yes, I could see them. They forgot their one. Maybe they had the carry license.
Well, it's a concealed carry.
Concealed carry,
There
but they
you go.
didn't have it. Yeah, they didn't
It
have
was
that.
a his and hers weapon, of course.
Oh, was it?
Yes, yeah. It's kind of like the
Aw.
love toilet, but different.
Was it monogram?
Were they
It
monograms?
might have been, yeah. Oh wow. One was pink, one was blue. They had initials. It was, gold plated. It was-
But they had no
sexy.
concealed carry permit. For what
I don't know.
I'm
I
saying
didn't
they
read that
didn't. Yeah, they didn't. But why a diaper bag is my question. Like,
But why bring it in the first place?
well, that's even a better question.
I want to know about the cannabis.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's right. It's like it's a tough thing to choose, but I think the cannabis makes more sense as to why you would bring a weapon in the park.
Do you think it was a drug deal?
I really said that in my mind. Like, okay, that's 2 guns and a pretty decent amount of weed. Like, I don't know, dude.
I mean, that sounds like a little bit more than just 2 people would need, right?
It sounds like a little more than recreational.
I don't know. How much is 20 milligrams of pot?
Well, it depends on what the inflation rate is, right, in that state. So, but if they bring in guns as well,
Wait, what?
inflation, that's a thing.
Oh, it's less than an ounce.
Less than an ounce? Oh, okay. Then maybe I misheard.
Yeah, well, that's $800
$800?
at least.
They're going to go through living with the land, and they were going to drop some of those seeds in there. Boom, boom, hydroponics.
Oh, okay.
What if there were people allergic to, like, when the peanuts are in the ground that aren't real peanut shells? I mean, you know.
Like fake marijuana seeds. Get your THC right here.
There you go. Go ahead, be happy. I mean, that's a fair point. I mean, it could be a drug deal, but damn, like, whoever was supposed to buy it, I guess they were really pissed that day.
I know. They wanted to make Journey into Your Imagination more tolerable.
Well, they journeyed into the security office, too, that
Yeah,
day.
that, or they had a party at the Odyssey they had to get to.
Oh.
They had a rave.
Bring it on, baby.
Yeah.
Man, yeah, that just... How do they... One part of the plan, when they say, okay, we got to bring this by security, maybe they figured that since it was COVID and there weren't as many people in the park, maybe they figured that there wouldn't be as much security to watch people. But if there's any time where there's more security than normal, it's during this period. I would
Well,
say.
you know, the funny thing is this Orlando Sentinel article ends their article with this. And I quote, a few times every year, a Disney goer is caught with a gun at Disney Springs or going through security at theme parks.
Yeah, we've covered
Yeah, we've
at least
covered
one other
that,
story before. Yeah,
I just can imagine like the dude's like, hey, Unique, stay here, give me my gun. I got to go on a drug deal. And Unique's like, well, where is it? Disney World. Let's bring the kids. Yeah. Oh. Yeah.
You've been telling them we're going to take them to Disney. You're not going to go to Disney by yourself and not take these kids.
How do you set up that deal? It's like, say, bruh, go to row H, seat number 6, and you seat number 7, and we'll make the deal right there. In
that's
American
right.
Adventure.
Look, you just go ahead. I'm gonna take the diaper bag that got Phineas and Ferb on it, and I'm gonna go ahead and leave it on the chair. Now you go ahead and take the cash that's got Mickey Mouse wallet in it. You leave that in the front of the, relaxation station, and yeah, we're good.
No, brown paper bag exchange like casino.
Yeah. You can have the guns and the cannabis, but you can't have both.
How lucky were the kids, though? I mean, seriously, because it's like, oh, sorry, kids, mom and dad got to go to jail, but here you are in Disney.
Yeah, at least you got to see it.
Let's take you on some rides. Bye, mom and dad. And just wave goodbye.
Or the kids are like, God, you've been waiting to go to Disney and you take me to Epcot?
All the kids were like,
I
oh,
want
cool.
to see the castle.
Right. That's a good point. What is there to do in the World Showcase?
No, the kids were like, damn it, mama, daddy, you messed up my deal, man.
Damn, man, I had this happening, man. Y'all supposed to be the mules, man.
Was that baby's kid?
Yeah. They don't die, they multiply. I guess they figured it was a backlot tour, to go ahead and see the security. So, I mean, there is that, but.
I wonder where they were staying. You think I stayed on property or off property?
Well, if you're going to the International Gateway, wouldn't you be staying on property?
I guess so. Yeah, you wouldn't be able to unless you busted in.
Yeah.
But that's a heck of a way.
Or you just went and just parked it there. For whatever reason, I mean, it shows
boardwalk, yeah.
Yeah, if you're not staying on property, that shows a pretty good knowledge of Disney.
Except for the security part.
Yeah, well, that's where the whole thing breaks down.
That's where it messes it up. It's a good plan up to that part where they're like, oh, they're going to watch it. Like, why not do it before you actually get to security? Like, say, okay, that guy's going to meet you at the monorail. Mm-hmm. Then you come from wherever, and then you just say, oh, let's take a picture together. Drop your bag, pick it up. There you go. Why go through the part where there's actual security?
When you see me buy the roast beef and macaroni and cheese, you come out to me and I'll make an exchange with you.
Yeah.
That's the signal.
That's it. When I get the bag of popcorn, you know it's on. That's it.
When I get that churro, it'll be at the end of the churro. You just grab the end and you're off. In fact, you can smoke it out the churro.
Smoke it out the
That's not a bad idea, man.
Oh, yeah, man.
Yeah, wait, hold on. Time out. Let's
Smoke
think
it
about
up,
this.
man.
That's actually a pretty damn good idea.
You need to talk to these people.
A bong you can eat.
There you go.
No, officer, I ain't got no bong.
Eat a bong. You just made something. Eat a bong. And a bong.
Please.
Like, you smell funny, sir.
It's the churro. I had some beans over in Mexico. You know how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry. It was a bad day. That's it. My stomach's rumbling.
Yeah, I feel bad for Unique and them. I mean, hopefully this was just a really... I just can't imagine this was an accident.
There's a slight misunderstanding.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, maybe they just accidentally, they had a permit or they did something, but no.
They accidentally put two guns and a bunch of weed.
And a bunch of weed.
Yeah.
On accident.
I mean, that's the thing, though. It's like, I know we did one another time, but when a guy said, oh, shoot, I meant to have my gun in this bag.
Yeah,
I switch it
yeah.
out. And I was like, I get that. But a diaper bag...
Yeah.
That's the thing where it's like, that's what makes it like really significant is like, how you gonna try to hide weed and guns in the pamper? How you figure that's gonna work?
Maybe it's like one of those special NRA, maybe the NRA has like their own diaper bags out that we don't know about. Yeah. It's like especially for, packing. It's got like the little side pockets for your gun and
weapons of choice,
extra ammunition and that stuff. Oh man, this is crazy.
Yeah,
this is crazy.
Weapons of choice, sponsored by Pampers.
I mean, especially in COVID times where it's not going to be crowded. It's like somebody's going to notice.
That's what they're banking on. That's what I'm thinking. They were like, "Oh, nobody would know. It'd be totally empty." That's what I personally think. We'll have a mask on.
No one will tell it's us.
Yeah, I still think she took the rap either for the kids or for the dude.
Her man.
Yeah, I think so.
So only she went to jail. The dude didn't go to jail.
She copped everything.
She copped to the weed
and the
both guns.
Yeah, the dude said, "Hey, there's weed in here. That's mine." There's two guns in
that's
here.
That's a soldier, man. Look at that.
I'm saying, where these women at? Right? Yeah. I mean, like, I tried to take a girl out a day one time. I was like, shoot, I'm $2 short. She's like, well, I guess you wash your dishes here. I'm out. I'm like,
oh, that's the next date. You better check that diaper bag.
Exactly. I mean, that's a baby mama for you, right there. That's a baby mama. Like, you gave me these two kids, put these guns and weapons and drugs in the diaper bag. I got you. This is my fault. This is all my props to you, Miss Unique. Props to you. There you go.
Well, good on Disney security for catching them at the gate.
Of course,
they didn't get in. I'm happy, but
I am too.
I'm glad nothing happened between wherever they parked or wherever they were staying and the gate. So that's thankfully for that.
I would love to talk to a Disney security person. I know it would be tough to do, but I bet they have some interesting stories of who smuggles in what at what time. during the park.
Well, yeah, listeners, if you know of a former security officer that wants to come on the show and talk a little bit about their experiences working for the mouse,
message any one of us and we'll give you a secret number.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And we'd love to talk with them because this would be juicy and curious. So, guys, look, let us know what you think about any of these articles we've talked about in the queue today. Show at magicourway.com is where you can get in touch with us.
Mohicans! Hey, this is Jane from MadHatterRadio.net. If you love Disney Park audio like my family and I do, please listen to MadHatterRadio.net for park audio music 24 hours a day.
And ladies and gentlemen, here we are in the hub, and that's slightly different music because we're bringing on a couple of guests, some well-known Mohicans, especially if you follow us on social media.
Is this Akeem and Simi? They're coming from Samunda, yes.
Absolutely. As you can tell by the rose petals on the ground.
Yes.
Upon which you can step. So, yeah, we're excited to have them on the show. And I'm talking about Downs on the Ground, Steven and Sarah. How you guys doing?
Good. How are you guys?
Good. It's a fun night.
Yeah. Wet? Not wet. Well, it was wet. It was wet. It was raining a lot.
It rained earlier.
Yeah. It's wet outside for sure, but how humid as always. But we're good.
Well, it's a good Saturday night.
But we brought you on the show because you guys got to experience the Disney parks post-COVID, as it were. And just to kind of give you guys a rundown, this is Saturday, July 25th. That we're recording this to give you an idea of what's happening. Walt Disney World is open. Disneyland in California is closed. Hong Kong Disneyland is closed. Shanghai Disneyland, Tokyo Disney, and Disneyland Paris are all open as well. So we are concentrating our discussion on Walt Disney World, and you guys had a chance to experience it in this new time, this new age, with all the policies in place. So I'm going to turn it over to you guys and guide us through this experience that you had.
Okay, well, thank you. So we're locals out here in Florida. We've got our APs. I've had mine for a year now. Fortunately, just as an aside, they did extend those. So if anyone was curious, people
extend. What do you mean extend? Like,
extend what?
Like they gave them like extra time for.
Extra time. So I've had a lot of family members ask like if our annual passes were just wasted for a third of the year. No, everything was extended by the 4 months that it was closed. So.
Excellent.
So that's nice. And so going into the parks reopening, there were a lot of changes that were made. So you have to have your reservations, and for annual pass holders, it's sort of tricky. I wasn't quite on the 8 ball, like right on top of things when they dropped. When you could make your reservations, basically in order to go to any park, you have to have a reservation. So my first reservation wasn't actually going to be until the end of August. Going to go to Epcot. But it seems like they've not had as many people turn out as they expected. So they released...
Surprise!
They released a new wave of reservations that annual pass holders could take advantage of. And I saw that email and I jumped on there as fast as I could. And so we were able to go. We went 1 week after the parks reopened. So that was July 18th. It was a week ago today.
And if you were following us on social media, you know that he went live in the parks. So you got to see all those kind of things.
That was great. In the parks. So I just kind of wanted to give that frame of reference just because it was sort of exciting to be able to go. We already had plans for the weekend, so we didn't actually take up the whole day. But we still did pretty much everything that we wanted to do. Yeah. I had been getting information from my brother and sister-in-law who also moved out here. They went a couple of days prior to some of the parks, and they kept telling us how empty everything was. And they knocked everything out like at Animal Kingdom within 2.5 hours, which, I mean, I guess, you're doing 5 rides. So,
yeah. Well, you got to do the jungle trails, and
you got to walk through the whole thing. Get an icy.
All those treasure trails.
I don't know about that, though. It's really hot right now. I can't go outside for 5 minutes without being drenched.
Sure. That's why you got to get that icy.
Icy.
Yeah, you got to get the icy.
Oh, the frozen Coke?
Yeah.
Oh, right by the bridge?
I call it icy. I mean, yeah.
It wasn't icy. Yeah, we grew up with the icy and stuff.
Y'all didn't have some sort of, how you say, a family meeting or something before you went to the park to say, hey, Do we want to take a chance?
So we both work from home. I will say I work for a healthcare company, and obviously COVID is a big scare. It's just the two of us here, and we don't have any family outside of our home that we see on a regular basis. So we felt comfortable enough to go out, obviously, with the understanding that, we're young, we don't have any pre-existing conditions. And so we're obviously taking a chance. And then after we got back, we both said, okay, we've been exposed to about 100 plus people at Disney World. And so we're like, we both work from home. And so we were just like, okay, we're going to stay at home for a couple of days just to make sure, everything's okay. Obviously, I know COVID takes quite a while
to happen.
Yeah.
Not to wish that happens to y'all. Of course not. But
no, but it definitely was a conversation that we had, because obviously, there's always talk in the news of, Florida has a ton of cases and all of that stuff. So.
Yeah, that's its own thing.
Who's the most apprehensive?
I would say Steven is. Yeah. Steven is a self-proclaimed hypochondriac.
Self-proclaimed.
I'm not even joking. So COVID's been around since February. I think I can count at least 20 times or more where Steven has been like, I have COVID. I'm going to die.
I hear that, but, right? You'll see it coming.
Any runny nose you have, you immediately think,
yeah,
this can't be allergies or any other illness that you might have had in any normal circumstance. It has to be this. Anyways.
Well, the symptoms keep changing, so it's like, yeah, look at this ingrown toenail. That's that COVID.
That's COVID. That's COVID.
It's COVID-17.
Yeah.
So we were nervous, especially the day of came, and I'm like, okay, this is actually happening. Like, we're going. Okay.
So you had to pump yourself up, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, we ended up going around, we left the house at like noon. Parked at like 12:40, which, okay, so that was its own weird thing because we parked like almost, I wouldn't say front row, but we were way far forward. And obviously the park is very empty, but it was still very strange getting there at 12:30, 12:40, and you're super close to the front still. And we parked, and instead of taking the monorail, which we did not want to take the monorail because we had also been on an airplane somewhat recently, and I was like, that is the last tiny metal tube I want to be in with a whole bunch of people for a while. I have no monorails for me. We'll take the ferry. It's nice and open, and you get like the air moving around. So we decided to go on the ferry, and in the queue for the ferry, they have these circles and spots that have numbers on them. There's right at the front, the next group that would get on, all the circles have number 1. Then behind them is a whole bunch that say number 2 and then number 3 and so on. I think it went up to like 3 for the ferry. Mm-hmm. You could see for the monorail it went up to about, I think, 6 or 7. Mm-hmm. Anyways, so the way that these things worked is there's the same number of spots in the queue with the designated number as there are on the ferry boat, and so as long as there's enough people populating all those spots, they already know that's how many people can be on the ferry boat safely. So, if there's 30 number 1s in the queue, that that there's 30 spots in or on the boat that are going to be distanced appropriately. So I thought that was really neat. It really took away a lot of the thinking that the guest would have to do to make sure, like, oh, am I getting too close to them? Oh, I forgot. I'm sort of wandering or whatever. You're like, oh, this is my spot. I'm going to stand here, and I go out the window here, and I'm with my family, and that's that. So it was really nice.
And so if you have a whole family, the whole family can stand together, right?
It was a group of up to 5, and if you had like a group of like, I don't know, 10 or whatever, you would start taking up more spots.
Gotcha.
They didn't want one clump of people to start encroaching on other people's space.
Sure.
And I appreciated that. We talked to the ferry captain as well, and he said their normal capacity for the ferry boat is 600.
Something like that, yeah.
So they have cut it down to half. So they've cut it down to 300. And also, these numbers don't it's not like I'm on number 1, so I have to go find number 1 on the boat. It's just the number just signifies which boat you're going to get on next.
Right. Okay. It's like it's first come, first serve once you're on there.
Yeah.
Gotcha. But you still have to space out, right? They have spaces on the boat to like, hey, stand over here, stand over here.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. All those circles on the boat
are
also
6 feet
distanced apart.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
And then I would imagine if you had too many people, then you could just like get in the water and hang on the side of the boat while they drove.
Get him over there. I had a quick question though. Did they have something where you were required to wear a mask, or was that like a thing?
Pretty much as soon as you get in, like we were a little bit nervous, so we threw our masks on as soon as we got out of the car, basically. But they do take your temperature as you walk up. I guess we didn't mention that. Actually, the metal detector and stuff is a little bit different too, because the security guys can't be nearly as handsy with your stuff, getting all in there and digging around.
Which was really nice because we always get the handsy security guard that's like, "Can you unzip this little pocket on your purse, please, ma'am?"
Every time they casually just like glance into the people's bags and purses in front of us, and they see my bag, and they're like, "Oh, we are doing like, you know,
like that dude's got
here."
2 guns. That guy's definitely got some guns and dope. In his
they like rubbing their hands together.
Man, we went to Magic Kingdom.
Get a little handsy.
Yeah. Do you have like the NRA like logo in your book bag or something?
No, I got the Magic Our Way pins.
Oh, good.
There you go. That'll definitely get you in trouble.
That's the problem right there.
They're like, we know he got something. He got that pin on his bag. He got something.
So did they do the new? Was it the new AI scanners that they're doing?
Oh yeah, the artificial intelligence stuff.
I didn't see that. They do have, so it's actually not cast members that are taking your temperature. It's actually health workers from Orlando Health, which is a big health here in the organization.
Yeah, people from the hospital that are
from
here.
the hospital.
It's the same for Disney Springs too.
Mm-hmm.
So people that know what they're doing.
Wow.
Yeah, it's people that they know what they're doing, and then I imagine if they do find somebody who has a temperature, I wonder if they would then like
2319.
2319. 2319.
Taser, get out of here. Code V, Code CV. Oh man, see that's intimidating. You know, like you're going in there, you want to think that I get why they
It's
have to
only
do
intimidating
it.
when you hear. Yeah, big we about to get handsy up in here.
We want to check all your baggage. Oh man. Hey now, what's up with the cheek?
You know, that is a more reliable way to check your temperature.
Actually, yes.
You said this.
You're
absolutely
running
right.
a little hot. We just need to be sure.
Just
Mr. Officer, could you be more accurate, please?
just drop the shorts right here. This is for the protection of all the guests.
I'm thinking, you know, I'm inching up on 50 now, so it's time for that yearly colonoscopy. I might as well, you know,
Right.
Oh, the
kill 2
2-finger
birds with 1
salute.
stone.
The two fingers.
Yeah, the 2-finger salute.
And it's free. And you get to enjoy a park after the experience.
You may walk a little funny, but
Yeah, just say you had a bad thing on the ride.
No different from getting off the primeval world.
There's definitely something primeval about getting checked out right before you walked in there.
yeah.
Tough to be a bug.
Yeah.
So y'all didn't notice any difference in the scanners. They weren't new.
No, the scanners were the X-ray machines were the same. The temperature check is actually they do like a.
It's that contactless little thing where it looks like they're just shooting you in the head.
I've experienced it. Yeah,
The infrared thing.
I hate that. They just come right up on you.
Did they still use the fingerprint scanners?
No, sir. That was So now it seems like annual pass holders are interchangeable, or the passes themselves.
Yeah.
Hey!
Right? Yeah, because they're not checking fingerprints. So I don't know what kind of security measures they have on that, but
They still have a picture attached to your pass, don't they? Am I remembering this?
I don't remember them taking my picture. They just took my fingerprint.
Yeah, and I don't remember the cast member because there's still cast members at the front gate. You know, like there always are. But yeah, I don't remember them checking a phone or anything. You know, like checking their picture or anything like that.
Right. Yeah, we just tapped the Mickey to Mickey and then walked right in. It was very easy. And no line there too, right? It was like not like, oh, it's a short line. There's like no line. It was actually there is no line. You could just walk right in. It was so bizarre for a Saturday in July at Walt Disney World.
At 1:00 in the afternoon.
Yeah. So
That's something you don't experience every day for sure.
That's a perk. It's a perk of a pandemic.
Perk of a pandemic.
silver linings. Yeah.
Try to be positive.
I get that.
Always look on the bright side.
Hey.
So now, once you got into the parks, what did you like? In terms of gift shops? Because that to me is like the hardest part of the social distancing.
Oh, because that's really enclosed,
right? And people are kind of like, especially like if you're trying to get something, someone's just standing right in front of there, and they're just ogling and like, I just need what's right there. How A, how many gift shops would you say that you noticed were shut down? And B, how crowded were they?
So none of the gift shops were closed down. Everything was open as usual, shopping-wise. I will say, at least the ones on Main Street, right? So the ones on Main Street were open. There were, so have you guys, I mean, obviously in grocery stores where there's like the lines that say like, you cannot go up this lane, you have to go to the next one, right? Like there's the arrows. So they had that for like the exits and the entrances. So you could only go in a certain entrance, and they were keeping people back and making sure that, you weren't like crowding into the gift store. I will say though, like the smaller shops, like in like Adventureland, where they have like the Sunglass Hut, and there's like the little bazaars that are on the side of Adventureland to make it feel
by the flying carpets and stuff, right?
Like the open air like shops, those were not open. They had the tarps down on those.
Yeah, those were all closed. That was a little sad. The one that stood out to me really was Memento Mori, right by Haunted Mansion. We didn't go in it, but we did see, there was a cast member at the entrance there holding people at bay. Like
that's kind of a small shop.
Yeah, it's a tiny little shop, so it makes sense. They probably only had, 2 groups in there at most.
So wait, when they held people at bay, were the people that were being held at bay, were they spaced out themselves, or was cast members actively spacing these people out? They're waiting to get in. Like, how do they manage that?
There honestly wasn't that many people to make it that there was a line to get into the store, to be perfectly honest. Like, there was maybe 1 or 2 groups waiting to get into the stores. I will say while we were walking down Main Street, there was a parade, so that might have had something to do with it. And I wasn't seeing as much social distancing with, like, people in the parade, like, sitting and watching the parade.
Right.
As, like you would have thought.
Well, they probably figured, if I don't get corona from sitting on this curb, then I'm probably okay.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is you're not allowed to sit, right? So it's not not a parade. It's just like there were like these random. I don't even know how to describe them.
So
cavalcades.
It was weird, right? Yeah, we were. I had seen the Disney cancel. Or they're not doing parades, fireworks shows, meet and greets, and character dining. Like. Okay, awesome. Like, great. I don't really need to see much of those anyways, so that's no problem. And so like when we walked in, we heard the music, and I didn't realize how much I actually missed Disney. So I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. And like the music and Main Street's playing and whatever. And then we get about halfway down Main Street, and then there's like this obnoxious, like upbeat dance music happening. And it was like Goofy's Cavalcade or something. And I was like, wait, they're not doing parades. But yeah, it was just the one float and then some dancers that were walking like and dancing in front of it. And by the way, dancers were not wearing masks at all, which was, I don't know. I just thought that was strange.
It's tough to breathe the way you're doing all of that aerobic exercise.
They're probably not terribly close to the people. Are they?
No, there wasn't anyone trying to distance anyone from anything there. That I was like, I don't know. I'm to each their own, I guess, with the whole mask thing. I was just like, oh, what the heck? You're not wearing. I thought you, of all places, Disney was going to be the place where all people were going to wear masks. Period. So that was a little weird, just seeing a whole bunch of dancers and dancing and smiling and all that. I'm like, I can see you smiling. That's kind of...
I'm like 50-50 on that one, because on one side, you still have to give the image that things are still happy and somewhat normal there. So I can see that with the dancer smiles, you'd be like, oh, I'm still happy. And look, having a mask on is just very tough. So probably for the length that they had to march or go, that was probably a trying thing for them. But I would think that they should at least have had, some people, other cast members that would stand between them that did have masks on, so that they wouldn't be an issue.
Keeping them separated?
Yeah, so in that instance, I'm kind of surprised that, like if a dancer sneezed on you, like, thank you for the dance and a piece of the pandemic. I appreciate that. That's why I paid to show up here. Yeah.
Free souvenir.
Yeah, there you go. Put a pin on that.
And I guess to that point, too, I mean, later on, we did also see, like, the princesses and Merida on the horse, which that was really cool. I didn't expect to see that. But yeah, if you had all the princesses with masks on, that might be a kind of a weird message.
Yeah.
to be sending out.
They did have more character handlers, I did notice, with the princesses just around the float in general. And I wonder if that was just, just in case like a kid saw Merida or Sleeping Beauty or whatever and wanted to run up and say hi, obviously with the parade going on.
Attack the horse with a balloon.
Yes. Oh, yeah. That Merida video with the horse. That was scary.
Horse. Yeah. So I guess
we went down Main Street.
Went to Main Street.
Our first ride was going to be Haunted Mansion.
Yep.
And so Haunted Mansion was different. I will let Steven explain why.
Really?
Different.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So first of all, we're from the West Coast. Haunted Mansion, in my mind, has the stretching room that's the elevator, right? So I'm thinking, all right, how is that going to work? Like, are you going to have like 2 groups, 3 groups in the elevator? And man, this line is going to take forever. And so we're just going through the queue, and the queue said 25-minute wait. We didn't stop to stand at all at any point in that line. You walk the whole thing. You're just following people, distanced, of course, and you get all the way through it.
Can I interrupt for a second? Sorry.
Yeah.
So in the queues, they have these little lines that say like stop here.
Oh, yeah.
So if the lines were to ever stop moving, there are 6 feet apart lines where your group would theoretically stop 6 feet apart from the one ahead of you. They also, with the little, what is that
Switchbacks.
called? The switchbacks. They do take into account that they like kitty corner you. So you're not going to be like 6 feet from the person in front of you, but like right next to somebody else, like in the other switchback. So they do kitty corner and stagger it to make sure that it almost seemed like somebody walked around with a stick that was like 12 feet long and just like marked, you know what I mean? To make sure.
That I really, really appreciated that part of it. Going through all the different lines, you could see how they took into account the spacing. In some lines, like for example, Pirates of the Caribbean, there are some parts that it's just not really possible to stagger it that way, where if it's like a switchback back and forth, you can't put 6 feet, I don't know, across and over a little bit. So there are segments of the queue that are like 12 feet of no people in between you, right? So like if there's not a way to separate everyone from next to each other, they will really stretch that the long distance there between.
So like you're saying you have to stop, and then there has to be like a gap, and then the next person goes, and then they go through the gap. That makes sense? Is that what you're saying? It's
super hard to describe it verbally. If I could like draw it, that would make a lot more sense.
So it's almost like I almost think of it think of like a wedding processional, right? So like you have the person and they say go, and that group starts walking, and then you're waiting, and then it's go, and then that group starts walking. And so it's once the people in front of you start walking and they go to the next stop point, then you are allowed to walk and go to that stop point. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay. I think
so.
Yeah. It's walking through queues, especially on like busier attractions, is kind of a fun game of have they hit the people in front of you? Have they hit the next one? Because then I can go to the next one, and because
it's like
there
Hubert.
are some times, there are some times where you just can't see where the next one is. We got stuck in between 2 stop points because we didn't realize how far away or close the next one. You lose sight of the people in front of you, and it's hard to tell, can I or can't I go sometimes. Anyways.
It sounds like baseball, like where you're stuck between 2 bases and the baseman at the ball.
Like,
I can't go this way.
I'll just stay here and hope I don't catch it, I guess.
Yes, that's the thing. Yeah, and that's the thing too, is this queue line also relies not only on you following the rules, but the people around you following the rules. And so we did run into, very rarely, but we ran into one situation where we were on Big Thunder Mountain, and I know this is totally digressing from Haunted Mansion. So if you need
By the way, we're going to Haunted Mansion after this.
Okay.
But that the group in front of us was not paying attention to the line markers, and so because of that, we then got into a situation where we were crowding other people because the people in front of us were crowding the people in front of them. And so I can see it becoming like, this dice game or, what is that, dominoes effect where it just
I can relate, man. Like I'm in the grocery store and some jerks behind me like, hey, like you're too close. I'm like, dude, well, this guy won't move, so I can't move.
Exactly.
So that's exactly it. It's a little awkward. So, anyways, back to Haunted Mansion. We're walking through the queue and everything. I'm just like blown away by how spaced out everything is. I'm really impressed with it. Really, the core of it is, for me, is Disney's knocked it out of the park with this. We're walking up, and remember, I'm expecting the elevator, so I have no clue how they're going to do the...
Sorry,
hold on.
To interject for just 5 seconds. Also, the things in the Haunted Mansion queue that you can touch, like the banjo and like the different piano and things like that, those were also turned off.
Yeah, any in queue, like interactive queue stuff, that's all been shut down. So even Thunder Mountain.
So is it like blocked off, or you can just tell, hey, it's not working?
Actually, you can't tell. We had to ask a cast member, but you're walking by these things so fast, you're not going to have time to play around with it.
Is the doors of the Haunted Mansion propped open, or normally what they do? Okay, so yeah, there's nobody there to open the door and say, "Come on in," and you just go strolling right in.
So you're lead me right to it. We walk up and I see the doors open to the elevator, and I'm like, wait, hold on, how does this work? Because there's also the line. What are the rope things? I can't remember. There's a proper term for it, but the stanchions. Yeah. Thank you. And those are going through the stretching room, and I was like, do they like pick those up every time for the thing to go down? No, the ceiling goes up. So it was like a momentary mind blow of like, oh, duh. Oh, okay, that's right. That's how they're doing it.
I'm on the East Coast.
But yeah, the stretching room is now just a part of the walk-through line. You just walk right through it. It's not they have I think the portraits were extended the whole way. Mm-hmm. They have like cut little snippets of the ghost host's spiel during the stretching room sequence. Yeah, so I was like, oh, okay, so that's it. And I think it works mostly. It was kind of, you mentioned it earlier, it's sort of reminiscent of that Museum of the Weird type of like just sort of walk through and see some weird stuff. It was kind of cool. No clue at all how they will do this in Disneyland. Because I was thinking, like, are they going to walk us down like the emergency exit staircase or something to get down under the train tracks? Wait, no, again.
East Coast.
We're East Coast, not West Coast. Okay, so then going through Haunted Mansion, I tried to pick up on the spacing for attraction vehicles, and I think they said in Haunted Mansion's case they do one buggy in between each group, right? Was it one or two?
I think it's two. Okay. 2 buggies between each group. So every third buggy, and that's really easy on Haunted Mansion because you have the people that are walking on the treadmill, I like to call it.
Yes.
The maids from the Haunted Mansion, and so she just like slows down, and then once 2 pass, then she points and you get that buggy. Yep. And then 2 more pass, and then the next group gets the third buggy.
Interesting. Now, are they wiping these buggies down as they're coming in, or are you just getting on the buggy that somebody else just sat in?
Yep, that one.
Okay.
As far as I can tell, they're not wiping the buggies down. I mean, they very well could be. There's space where you don't see the buggies. And considering all of the other safety measures they're taking, I would venture to guess that they have some sort of cleaning system.
Yeah.
But you don't see it, and they really could just not be doing it.
I know they have said that maybe instead of doing that they're like shutting the ride down for an extended period of time and deep cleaning it. I know that happened on, was it Big Thunder Mountain that we saw them spraying down?
That was Jungle Cruise. Yeah, that was weird.
That was very weird. We'll get to that.
I like this build-up happening, yeah.
So after Haunted Mansion, so the rest of the ride is normal, right? Like it's an Omni Mover.
Same ride.
Same ride. So after Haunted Mansion, we went to...
Well, we tried to do a bunch of stuff. It was also, it's Florida. It was the afternoon, so you get thunderstorms. So we wanted to do, Thunder Mountain, Splash Mountain, Jungle Cruise, and Pirates, and knock out west side of the park, and do some other stuff on the east side. Well, really just Space Mountain on the east side. But okay, so we tried to do Thunder Mountain, that's closed. Splash Mountain, that was closed. Okay, so we guessed that Jungle Cruise would be closed too, so we went to Pirates, and that's where I was saying that there's that one very long stretch of no-go space for guests in the queue where it's like 12, probably 15 feet or something. Mm-hmm. I don't know how familiar you guys are with the queue. It's when you kind of go in and you dip right by the armory where they have like the explosives or whatever.
Yeah, with the cannon.
Yeah,
Yeah. So that's where you kind of wait right outside of it. There's one spot inside, and the next spot is like almost all the way on to the next room. It was crazy. Like you almost couldn't see it. So then, so with Pirates, all the rides had different like spacing techniques. Pirates, they did basically two groups per boat. One group at the very front and one group at the very back. Other than that, everything was largely the same. It's really nice having very small groups on the boats. And
I was gonna say, I was curious how they did that.
It's the front 2 rows and the back 2 rows seem to be occupied, and that's another one where we didn't see them cleaning it, but you do get off at one place. You don't see the boats, and then you get on at another place, right? That's another thing also where it will be interesting to see how Disneyland does it, because at Disneyland you see the people that were just sitting in your seat get out as you get in.
Yeah.
Disneyland's probably got a lot more work to do than Disneyland did.
Which is probably why they're not open right now.
Yeah, that makes sense. I was curious about one thing really quick.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you guys actually walking from site to site, attraction to attraction, were they like cast members that were in the middle that were like, hey, you too close. Hey, come close. You know what I mean?
Like a Catholic school nun?
Yeah, like remember we talked a while back about how would the cast members actually deal with the traffic?
Yeah, and like Universal had like the stilt walkers going around in the crowds, keeping apart. Yeah.
Was there anything like that you guys saw?
I didn't notice anything.
It was very sad, but it was very dead. Like there was really nobody. Everybody was being super respectful. The only times that you didn't have masks on is when you're eating food. Mm-hmm. They do have a rest area right next to Pirates of the Caribbean. I think it used to be, there was like a little food shop there.
Yeah. Oh, okay. It's over like right outside of Pecos Bills.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's like 4 tables there. They've got them all spread out. That's where the rest area was.
Used to be like the French fries. Yeah, the tables for the French fries. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so there's like a cast member there, and there's a sign that says like not rest relief area, and you could take off your mask and breathe and
can't
do
relieve yourself there. Though.
You cannot relieve yourself there.
Zip.
Wow.
That might be someone might translate that wrong.
Imagine that.
I'd like to see maybe as the crowds build and they do have the need for that, like you could have character interactions where maybe like you got Mulan with like a 6-foot staff and she's like, like getting in between people, like, hey, you're too close and things like that.
She just needs a sword. That's all.
I don't know. Have you guys seen? They have the stormtroopers walking around at Disney Springs.
Mm-hmm.
I heard about it.
Yeah, they have that at Hollywood Studios too.
Yeah, we haven't gone to Hollywood Studios
yet. No studios for us yet. They do. They have an announcement over the PA system for the whole park. It seemed like it went off every 15 minutes of the guy saying, "Please remember to wear facial coverings and keep distance
and cover your sneezes and
cover
coughs."
Your sneezes and coughs." And I'm like, "Aren't you already doing that with the facial coverings?" Whatever. It was a little redundant, but
hi there.
That's got to take you out of the magic somewhat.
It totally does.
Totally did.
You're walking around listening to the awesome background music, and then it's like, "Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Please remember." Oh, yeah, that's right.
Did it say it in Spanish?
Nope.
They did not say it in Spanish.
Darn it.
Dang, that would have been awesome.
Exactly.
Por favor, masco.
Por favor, los mijos.
Yes.
Por favor, manténganse los mascos.
Yes. Or get those autos to park. Yes, sir. Oh, my goodness.
So, to Eli's point, so y'all did not see cast members roaming the park, just kind of keeping an eye out, making sure everyone's wearing their masks, everything like that. Just there wasn't a noticeable amount of cast members roaming
I thought
around.
that was supposed to be a thing.
That's correct, yeah. Not a noticeable amount. It seemed like they were relying a lot on the guests to maintain the safety.
Yeah, I think
it did, really.
Yeah, everybody was super respectful. I will say when we tried to get on Space Mountain, there was like a family that they had the masks below their nose, right? And like one of the kids had it below their nose. And so the cast member just pleasantly asked the family to please cover the nose. And they did. And there wasn't, a big hullabaloo about it or anything. I will say if there was somebody that just blatantly wasn't eating and was just walking around the park without a mask on, I'm sure that somebody would say something.
Yeah. I mean, they're around, I think, more like at the shops than at, you've got a lot more cast members that are sort of outside of their attractions and shops and stuff like that. But they don't really roam the park trying to police everyone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but also to you guys' point, you said it was fairly dead. Let there be, like, once people start getting used to it, and they're like, okay, we're just going to go. Maybe you will see a different type of, I have a better word than cast member policing, if you will, you know?
Yeah.
Another thing to say about the mask is I'm a huge proponent of the mask. Like, I have nothing bad to say about the mask. Wearing them in Florida in the heat, in the humidity, was grueling.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you see these debates of, like, whether or not you can get enough oxygen and whatnot. I mean, okay, it's hot, man. It's really hot. Like, I was sweating bullets with that thing on, and
that's why you down on the grounds, baby. You supposed to be in there.
I know. I'm just like,
why y'all in there?
The mask, and I voluntarily wore my hat, but I got to wear the hat.
Yeah.
And, you know, that keeps all the heat right on my face and not, you know, anywhere else. So that's rough. You can do it. You did it. It was fine.
Lots of water, lots of snack breaks, right? Like, you can take your mask off while you're eating and drinking. And so I found myself doing that a little bit more than I would normally if I didn't have a mask on. Disney will make a lot of money if people can take their masks off while they're eating.
Yeah.
Did y'all take use of the relief zones or relaxation zones?
Oh, yeah, relaxation stations.
No. We were trying to book it around the park. I had a list of things I wanted to do. It's been a long, long time since we've been to Magic Kingdom. I think probably last December.
December or January. It was right before my CAPM.
Okay.
But yeah, it was.
We kept going with friends and family that would come into town, and everyone wants to see Star Wars Land. So, okay, we're going to go to Hollywood Studios all the dang time. That's fine, but that meant that we just didn't see the other stuff. So yeah, going back to Magic Kingdom was nice. So I wanted to do Big Thunder Mountain, have to do Splash Mountain, especially given the news of the closure. And I hadn't actually been on Splash Mountain out here yet, so that was actually kind of fun to see the slight differences.
Get it while you can.
Yeah. So we didn't take advantage of the relief area because we got in the park at 1. We had dinner reservations at Skipper Canteen at 6:10. So we really only had like 5 hours to get everything done, and we didn't actually we didn't do Mine Train.
Yeah.
That's probably okay. It's a fine ride, but whatever.
So now let's say you had a stay. Let's say y'all weren't locals. Y'all were coming in from out of town, and you had to do this for a week with 2 kids, with the masks and everything, walking around in the heat. Could you pull it off?
There would be. I will say that you can get everything done. So, like Steven said before, my sister and brother-in-law they went to the parks on their days right when it first opened, and they were texting us at 11 noon saying, we've done everything, we're leaving. And so I can imagine if you are a family of 4 staying on property that you could go in the mornings early before the heat of the day, knock some stuff out, go back to your hotel.
Hang out at the pool,
come back in the evening.
That's tough. So coming back in the evening, we didn't mention this. I don't think we did. The park has very limited hours. It's 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. So trying to do that midday nap, unless you have like a very convenient way to get to the park, might not be super doable.
Yeah, we need nap zones, not
there you go.
Little nap pods.
Hammocks.
Hammock zone.
Well, yeah, more to my point was that's kind of why I was asking is whether or not, okay, it's one thing, all right, we're going to soldier on, we'll get through this from one day, you got to wear these masks and it's grueling, but to wear it 5 days in a row and then to force your 8-year-old or 7-year-old to have to keep it on.
To be compliant,
Because, I mean, we can't go anywhere with Lily where after 20 minutes she's like, Daddy, I can't breathe. And you got to get out of there as soon as you can so that way she can take off the mask.
In the heat, they're saying.
Well, yeah.
Envision mask tans. You know?
Wow.
You got bikini tan. I mean, very quickly, because, I mean, you don't have to be out in that Florida heat or sun for long before it's like you're tanned, and then you take it off. It's like, oh, mask tan.
Like, what's your kid do for a living? Yeah, she's a surgeon. That's
Well, you just gotta be worried about the one guy that has like a little strip of white down the center.
Oh God!
And everything else is like dark.
Wow!
He's got that wrong mask, or he's wearing it the wrong way.
He doesn't know. We gotta watch
that
out for
thong
him.
mask or something. You know?
His forehead is all white.
That's what Lee would look like if he shaved his beard. Like the bottom part of his face has got to be a different color by now.
He has a built-in mask.
Yeah.
Beard tan.
Beard tan.
Hey, that's a good point. Like the beard could count as a mask. I think it's like blocking everything out.
I don't know. Somebody cough on it. You got that piece of spittle stuck in the beard. Man. You got to wash the beard 4 times a day, like they say with your hands. You got to do that with the beard.
So what attractions did you notice the safety guidelines in play the most?
Jungle Cruise.
Jungle Cruise, for sure.
Jungle Cruise. Jungle Cruise was depressing. It's really sad, man.
Well, because if you think about it, the fun of Jungle Cruise is like you're experiencing the skipper together as a group, right? And there's lots of interaction between the skipper and the group. So the skipper is behind a plastic sheet.
Yeah, they're like on display.
Wow.
Yeah, they've
The whole
got like a big
plexiglass.
vinyl like tarp basically that separates the skipper from all the other guests.
It's
And
not a
all-
plexiglass?
No,
it's
it's
like
it's
like a
flexible.
thick plastic. Yeah, like a tarp.
Can you see him?
Yes.
Okay, so it's transparent.
It's
Interesting.
transparent.
Okay.
I don't know
Like
what
a shower curtain.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
kind of
thicker.
like that. So yeah, they're behind that, and then all the guests have little plexiglass windows in between.
Oh, wow.
I don't know, probably every
Like each
4 or
person.
5 feet
Yeah.
of seating area,
Mm-hmm.
which I don't really actually know what that does. 'Cause
Well, I mean, if you're sitting next to someone to your left and you're not breathing all over them, so
Yeah.
I mean that's a good thing. But
it's something.
I mean, to me, it's like I'm envisioning like a stand-up comedian, and if they're in a packed house, they're probably going to have a good rapport with the audience. But it's like if you're a stand-up comedian, there's 3 people in the audience.
Yeah.
Your jokes aren't going to go over as good.
That's true.
Yeah, the boats. I think our boat had 3 families on it, us and 2 other groups.
And it was
and I don't know if maybe she was just not on her game with that one. It was not the best Jungle Cruise experience. I really think that a lot of it had to do with the.
I wonder if they're going to have like COVID jokes.
I was just
I really
about.
want them to, but Disney's probably not going to let them
Yeah,
do it.
they smart.
To look
No.
out for COVID jokes. I thought that there were some, but I'm not sure.
It'd be funny if they put like masks on the hyena. Or,
Yeah, I thought that there would be something like that.
Yeah, that'd be
Or even
great.
jokes
Like-
about the plastic and stuff.
Oh yeah, like when you get to the area with the rhinos, this is what happens to guests that don't socially distance.
yeah.
Yeah,
Something like that.
That's not like making fun of COVID, but that's still sort of a joke in the situation.
No, I'm totally with that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be awesome.
That's a good
Like
balance.
the guys on the totem pole, one of the guy on the bottom has his mask on his butt.
The shrunken head.
Oh, at Trader Sam's, yeah. They have-
Yeah, all the little masks.
Trader Sam's got to have a little mask on the little shrunken head.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Damn, I'm sorry. We done the same
that'd be
thing.
all 3 of us, yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Little miniature mask.
And I mentioned Jungle Cruise earlier too, because as one of the rides that closed down due to the weather, we did wait in a slightly longer line only because we were waiting for it to reopen, not because the line was actually long. We were the second people in line. But the ride took longer for them to open back up than everything else because, and you could see this, they had the cast members, like the skippers, they had those big old like pump sprayer things you see at like Costco, and they were spraying down the whole boat. It seemed like what they would do is they sprayed the whole dang boat, and then they would drive that boat around and let it dry. And so they had to do that to every single boat and let it go all the way around so it could dry and then load people up. So if Jungle Cruise closes, it looks like that's what they're going to be doing, is take advantage of the downtime and clean the crap out of it.
It's just interesting to me that they're more concerned about safety in the Jungle Cruise as opposed to, like, say, Haunted Mansion, where people are just getting on the exact same cars and sitting in the exact same spots where you don't have the plexiglass and the
There's
barriers.
definitely some kind of a logistical thing, whereas they've got the space to move around and clean on Jungle Cruise, where they may not have that space to do that with Haunted Mansion.
Well, if they use
Right.
that electrostatic fogger, like I'm telling you about, man, it'd be reset in a matter of seconds.
I mean, why don't they have like a run through, like, okay, like, well, I guess they don't really do that, right? Like, it's one continuous ride, right? There's no trains, so to speak, in Haunted Mansion.
Right.
Just one continuous circle. So, but it seems like it could just like let it go through one run with nobody on it while they clean it.
They might be doing some fancy math there. So
some calculus.
I mean, yeah, like the Zach Galifianakis with the numbers flying around me, right? Like there is some tricky math that the cast members have to do now with, for example, Big Thunder Mountain. You know, each train car that you can get on, there, I think it was 5 of them, and there's 3 rows per car. We were placed, each family gets their own car. We were placed in row 9 of our train car. And the family that got off of that train car before us got off of row 8. So I don't know if that's just a coincidence or if they really do have to think about, okay, so this train's coming in, we put someone on row 8, so now someone has to go on row 9, and then the next time someone's in 7, and then the next time someone's in 8, right? Like, it just seemed kind of like she had to do a lot of thinking to tell us which row to go to. It wasn't just like, oh yeah, okay, go to 9, okay, go to 10. She was really deliberate about which row. She's like, yeah, 9, you have to go to 9. And so
I wonder if they're doing that then in the Haunted Mansion, right? Because each of the Doom buggies has a number on them, right? In like the corner.
Yeah.
And so I wonder if the little maid, knows, okay, now I'm at 1. Okay, now this time I'm putting people on 1, 4, 7, 10, whatever. But then the next time 1 comes around,
2, 5, 8, yeah. If there's a certain number of Doom buggies on the chain and they are setting people every third one, then maybe it just does automatically just sequence people through so that one Doom buggy goes through 2 times empty and 1 time with a person, something like that.
Yeah.
That's totally feasible. I think that's realistic.
You got cast members doing calculus, man.
Smart ass cast members. It's hard to get a job out there right now.
At Thunder Mountain, whipping out the abacus. Got to stay in character.
Now, I know you mentioned that one kid before was walking around with the nose out. I mean, how did you notice how children were handling the wearing of the mask in the heat?
Didn't notice the children so much.
I didn't really notice them. Sorry, we don't have children.
I know. We run from them snot grabbers.
I pay a lot of attention to like the adults, and like they're the ones that like are responsible for everything, and they have to take. So every adult was respectful and did the right thing. There was one lady that I saw while we were eating our Dole Whips that walked through that breezeway by Aloha Isle. I think that's what it's called. Where you get the Dole Whip.
Yeah.
Right by Country Bears. She walked right through there with her husband, and she had no mask on, and she was not eating. And
You clutched your chest.
Yeah, I was like, hey, whoa. I can stand here with my mask off because I'm eating. What's your excuse? Everyone else had their masks on. I didn't really hear many people complaining or anything.
Mm-mm.
So
you heard a lot of parents saying, mask up, like telling the kids.
Yeah, that's true. Yes, there were dads and well, whatever, parents. I specifically remember a dad doing that, but yes, parents that did that. Yes.
So I think it's just going to become a part of our vernacular now is mask up.
Mask up.
Mask it or casket.
It's a little morbid.
That's how we do. It's an effective line though, Lee. Actually,
I feel like I mean, I know I'm going back to the parade thing, but I mean, you think that they would give maybe the cast members masks that were to character.
Right.
Or they even maybe had a smile on it. I know I've said that before, like for the pictures, but I was kind of being funny. But they really could do that with, to match their skin tone and things like that, to where you didn't notice the mask as much.
They did say, so we talked to one of the cast members at Jungle Cruise, and there's certain levels of cast members. So the cast members that like sit in the booth and they're like the ride operators and they're not around, they actually don't have masks on. But the cast members that like interact with you, like food vendors, they have a face shield and a mask, or is it just the face shield?
Are you talking like any guest-facing cast member, anyone that gets you on a ride or through a line or gives you food or anything, they've got the mask over their nose and mouth, and they've got the face shield in front of them.
That's like being served at a nuclear plant.
Yeah. It took you out of the Pirates of the Caribbean feel quite a bit.
Chernobyl Catering Company.
Yeah. What's your Chernobyl burger? Or,
Speaking of which, how was Skipper Cantina? Would you notice that was different when y'all went to go eat over there?
The food is really good.
Steven really missed the food.
That's my favorite restaurant.
I like that restaurant.
It was really empty.
It was so empty. They had tables with stickers that said,
do not sit
you're not
here.
sitting here. Don't sit here. Don't sit here. Don't sit here.
And it was so empty, in fact, that there was even a sign outside of the Skipper Canteen that said tables and seating available, like that they were promoting.
Did you get a picture of that?
I did not get
I think I did.
You did get a picture. We'll send it to you.
Just because it was so weird.
It was very weird. Because normally, like, you think about what the charm of Skipper Canteen to me is that if you're just walking by, you don't know that it's a restaurant, right? Like, that it's just this, like...
That's what it just fits in.
It just fits in. And so it was very awkward to see this big, like... the plastic stand-up triangle sign that said Skipper Canteen, seating available. Like,
nice.
So,
and it seemed almost like we were forgotten by our waiter a few times. It took him a long dang time to actually
I don't know if he was new or what it was, but
he just probably forgot that there were people in the restaurant.
I wasn't giving him a hard time or anything. We were just sitting there. And it's like, okay, the park closes in 10 minutes.
We don't have our food. What's going on?
Right.
What restaurants were open outside of Skipper Canteen?
I think most of the table service. Okay, so yeah, actually that's another thing. A lot of counter service, they're really, really, really pushing mobile order.
Yes,
it's
you
not
cannot enter.
Hey, you could mobile order. It's like if you really want to wait in line and order face to face, I guess there's the line. But the big stuff that you see in front of all of the quick service places say, oh, just scan this QR code and mobile order now. There's a lot of that. So we went to Aloha Isle to get our Dole Whip, and I really hope I'm getting the restaurant name right. And I just walked right on up, and they're like, okay, what order are you? And I was like, I was just about to order. Yeah, because I had to, mobile order it. So I had to walk out and just do it through the app. So if anyone's going...
So you had the mobile order?
You didn't have to. It's just...
recommended.
It's strongly recommended. And they have, normally at, Aloha Isle... Again, hopefully we're saying this restaurant name
that
right.
One person's.
That's right.
That there's they have the 3 windows that are mobile order pickup, and then they've got the other 3 windows or whatever that are you can walk up and order. No, they had 6 windows that were mobile order, and then there was one register in the corner that was, if you really need to stand in line and order, here you can stand in line.
If you don't own a cell phone,
You got
over here,
phone,
or not technologically proficient.
And the cast member doesn't want to let you borrow theirs.
Yeah, you can't write it on a piece of paper, just throw it at the cast member.
Right?
Yeah.
We were also, we were walking from Tomorrowland over to the west side of the park. I was really thirsty, and I needed some caffeine or something. So I'm like, I gotta get a Diet Coke. And so we were just walking by Pinocchio's Village House. And there's very clear, the door that I would have normally walked in is an exit only. You walk around to the other side, kind of by Small World. And that's where you can go in to pick up the order that you mobile ordered. I don't know where the order in line one was. Mm-hmm. Village House seemed like it was almost only mobile order, and you even had to do that for just a soda.
That was really frustrating because we mobile ordered, and if you had just ordered it at the register, right, they would have just poured the soda right there and handed it to you. And so it did take a little bit longer to mobile order it, and then the number to get called, and you'd walk in and wait in line to get your thing.
Yeah.
The one that was closed was Gaston's Tavern.
That's right.
I was so sad.
We were so stoked to go get our LeFou's brew.
LeFou's brew and a cinnamon roll, and it was not open, and my heart sank into my stomach. I'm mad.
I'm kind of with you on that one. I love that. I love that place.
Well, LeFou's Brew in the summer, I'm sure would be great.
Yeah, exactly.
I would imagine Crystal Palace is closed still.
Crystal Palace is closed.
Any
I think that's because
character
it's
type
character
situation.
dining, though, right?
Yeah.
I would imagine same with Cinderella's Royal Table as well, huh?
Yeah, well, really quick. What about those quick little like carts where they give you like,
like the turkey leg,
popcorn, that kind of stuff? They just shut down. That's it. You ain't getting no turkey.
You can see them actually. I like. There were a couple that you can see where you can get the those weird flavored what are those the spring rolls, the egg roll things.
Oh yeah,
like the cheeseburger and the pizza one. Oh my gosh, the deep fried goodness. I love them. They were
you are one of the only people.
Yeah, I know. I'm in
yo, really?
The cheeseburger egg rolls are good, man.
Hey,
I support you with that.
Where does Lee get his Mickey bar?
At the grocery store. They sell them at the grocery store now.
Steven down.
They do.
Oh, let's leave Magic Kingdom and go to the grocery store.
Yeah, I want a corn dog.
So some of the carts were open.
Was it like, was it similar to like going to an after hours party during the day or better?
Better.
Real quick, back to the carts. So I remember.
Okay.
So the food carts. So the food carts that are like, they have a home. So like there's one by the Hall of Presidents that has like, it's like the food cart station and there's like the table set up back there. That one was open.
Oh, like the fruit stand and stuff?
The fruit stand.
Oh, yeah.
And the ones on Main Street, the ones that have like an actual building over them. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And
So the corn dogs probably are safe at Disneyland.
Nothing portable is what you're saying, right?
Yeah, nothing portable. Exactly. Like the ones that like, it's like essentially like a big freezer on wheels that they just like, go to a different station. Those are not anywhere to be seen.
I wonder if that's, to stop people from walking around the park with food as much as possible.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That actually makes sense, yeah.
Yeah.
To your question about whether it was like an after-hours party or not, I think the only one that we've been to is the Halloween party, and it was much better than going to the Halloween party. Yes. I actually wasn't a huge fan of the Halloween party, so I liked that this was even lower crowds than that, and everything was open. Whereas at the Halloween party, they closed the Jungle Cruise, which just crushed me. So, yeah, I was even dressed up as a skipper. But
And what Steven did have a very sad day that day.
I'm sorry.
Anyways, so yeah, I think it was better, and I think it's I don't know how long you can go with that, but because those are usually just in the evening, so it's like 5 hours versus the 8 hours. I'd say like being able to go during the day and do all this stuff is a good value. Leaving the park at 7, when the park closes at 7 and it's still daylight outside, that is kind of weird.
I bet you that's weird. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like everyone's
dark outside yet.
So.
Yeah, it wasn't dark.
Everyone was leaving, mass exodus of the park, and it still took us maybe only 10 minutes to get on the ferry, as opposed to, the hour or so that it would take to get on that thing.
Yeah. I mean, I think this is definitely more impactful than 9/11. Whereas 9/11, people were afraid to get on people were maybe afraid to get on a plane, but right now people are afraid to go anywhere. People are afraid to go to the grocery store. So
yeah, that's a good question. If y'all lived in Nevada, would y'all be willing to get on the plane to go to Disneyland if it was open, or Disney World, or
we would drive?
We would drive to Disneyland.
So we went on an airplane. We went on an airplane from here to Nevada to see some family a couple of weeks ago. And I will say I will never get on an airplane until COVID is taken care of. The way that Disney is handling COVID is how I wish the airlines were handling COVID, and that was just not the case. So much so that in September, when we go to visit family, we are driving across the country.
Yeah.
Whoa. Can't the family meet y'all halfway? A little bit?
No,
yeah, y'all can come to Texas.
And
have some tacos.
Steven and I are in a little bit of a different situation because we both work from home. So it's not that we're going for weeks at a time. We're going to work from Nevada for a little while just to see family.
Oh, I got you.
Okay, I got you.
I understand that people are not, we're in a very special situation. But yes, I would agree. I wouldn't go on a plane right now.
I avoided the monorail for that same reason. It was sitting in the plane.
From different airlines, though, depending on the airline.
True. Yeah, we went on American Airlines. Lee, tell your customers or clients or whatever, don't book with American. American just
there goes that sponsorship.
Now Lee broke again,
dude. Man, we had the American airline people all lined up.
Oh well, now the deal's faltered.
Hey, if you're sponsored by them, I would figure out why the heck they would sit husband and wife during a pandemic in separate seats like not next to each other on 4 flights in a row.
Oh, damn.
What?
Yeah, what the heck?
Yeah.
So,
Come on,
anyways,
American.
it was
That is not American.
Very distinctly un-American.
Totally.
America.
Not America.
So how prevalent was the hand sanitizer getting on and off these rides?
Oh my God, it was everywhere.
and
And it's not like they're not skimping on the hand sanitizer, you guys. I have small hands for like a person, so I understand that having a large amount of hand sanitizer for me is just like normal, but it was like a puddle in the middle of my hand. And it was so gross, you guys. I don't know.
they're pretty much at the exit of every ride. They're all over
Are
the
they
park.
like automatic?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
And they're slime. I don't know. To me,
It's kind of a slimier.
Yeah, I've had experienced those. Yeah.
It's a friend of mine. He also goes to the parks all the time. He said that it almost seemed like they were, the same distance apart as like Walt had the trash cans. You know how Walt did like the test to see like a person would pick up, wouldn't throw their trash away because there's a trash can so close here and here. So you always have them clumped really closely. Kind of the same thing with the hand sanitizers. It's like you can like lunge from one hand sanitizer to the next, like just always like cleaning your hands off. That was really nice having all of that. We brought hand sanitizer, but I didn't
need it
out of the backpack very much. Yeah, I didn't need it. I
think that's something that's going to stay. I think we are religious hand sanitizer people anyway. When we go to the parks, like we have hand sanitizer with us
for years.
I think that this is something that once COVID and all this craziness
Yeah,
goes
it's going to
away,
be a new permanent thing.
Yeah.
I wonder who it is. I guess it's
Guys.
Purell, maybe. That could be this new sponsor.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's
Purell's not slimy.
No, that's true. You're
Yeah.
right. Purell's not slimy.
It wasn't Purell, and I will say I washed my hands like when we got home, like after, and there was like almost like a sticky film on my hands as I was washing. It was so gross. I did not like this hand
I'd rather
sanitizer.
have that than that liquidy stuff that reeks of like tequila or whatever.
yeah.
wow.
That's some distillery
People,
made.
people
Yeah.
questioning if you fell off the wagon.
It's so
I didn't
gross.
think you drank.
Now, did y'all experience any of the character pop-up things?
Yeah, the only one that I remember seeing, and we saw it like 3 times, is the Country Bears. Is that what you're talking about? Where like the actual Disney characters will just sort of show up here and
Yeah,
there?
there are these pop-up appearances, like, where Stitch is on the stage and all that kind of stuff.
Right. Yeah, Country Bears were hanging out at the Country Bear Jamboree, like up on the balcony.
And
a
waving.
lot. They were there a lot. All 3 times we walked by there, they were there.
I wouldn't want to be those cast members in those furry suits
know.
in the heat.
All this is they're masked up, right? Let's see, I don't think I remember anything else. I mean, we mentioned the Stormtroopers at Disney Springs. That was a while ago, anyways.
But nobody else. Yeah, just we saw the cavalcade of the princesses. We saw the dancers, and that was really it on character-wise.
So what about some of the, I guess, like some of the newer attractions, like in the past, of course, were some of those still open or closed, like Rise of Resistance or,
They
Avatar?
only went to Magic Kingdom, I think, right?
That's it?
I can speak about Rise of the Resistance.
Oh, you can? Okay.
I was going to say, I remember him talking on it. I figured, okay, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, so those newer rides, those are open. And the, let's see, so Mickey's Runaway Railway, I think it's called, that is open and running like normal, just like it's a regular attraction. My friend, he walked on it. Brand new ride of March 2020, you walk on. Rise of the Resistance has shifted their operations only slightly. I think it's running the same way as normal, but the that reservation system that we talked on and on about for a while is slightly different because before, you'd have that huge crowd clamoring to get into the park at 8 a.m. or whatever to try and get the reservation to go on the attraction. Now they have that spaced out. So there's, let's just say Group A, all the like A1 through 20, or I don't know, whatever. A clump of the passes are open at 8 a.m. or when the park opens. The next are released like 4 hours into park operations. The next are released another 4 hours into park operations, something like that. So they've staggered them to try and prevent a lot of people from rushing the gates at the park. So I thought that was really clever and like a good way to do that, because they still have to disperse those things, and really like that's how it should be in general. I think that works out well.
I think they changed it like this week to 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, they just added that second grouping, yeah.
Does the park normally open at 8 then?
I don't know, 9 o'clock I thought.
Okay.
But I mean, that might have changed. That's probably changed too. Is it still 9 for most? When you said Magic Kingdom, you said 9 to 7, right?
Yeah, Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, so same thing.
That's 9 to 7.
So they added it. Now they're doing it 10 and 2.
Gotcha.
But I mean, that literally just happened like 3 days ago.
Oh, really?
As of this recording.
I wanted to ask you this last question real quick, just to kind of circle back around. If there are any areas that you think Disney does need to improve on, what would they be?
They could open Gaston's Tavern.
That's nice.
It's okay to say none.
I'm not here to say that Disney does everything perfectly, because we're all still figuring this thing out.
I would say that I would like to, obviously I don't want cast members. I think it is going to take away a little bit of the experience if cast members are policing things. But we did run into a situation at the end of our day where we were boarding the ferry and, we were on our circle, right? Going to get into the next ferry boat. And the woman next to us with her small child was like 2 feet from us. Like, she was very close to us, was not on her circle at all.
And our circle was in like the front left-hand corner, sort of against the wall and a trash can.
And so we were literally against the wall, against the trash can. And she was not like getting the social hint, like, you should really back up away from me a little bit, So I will say in that situation, as this continues and as obviously they take more and more capacity, you are going to run into those situations where people are just not going to be respectful. And so I think it's going to be either the job of it could have been the job of Stephen and I to politely have asked her, hey, can you please go to your circle? Or a cast member in that area, maybe just monitoring, making sure the queues are being social distance like they should be.
Right.
The cast members are going to have to do it though, because there's going to be a lot of bull.
Yeah.
Really, like once it starts getting busier and you try to tell someone, hey, you need to do this or you need to do that.
I paid for my chicken.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's what's gonna happen on the next episodes of Dials on the Guy. Be like, yeah, I tried to tell Sarah to chill out. She punched the person right in the face, and then she was right to do it.
Sarah's gonna jump in. Steven's on the ground.
Steven's on the ground. But I still kicked that person and tried to breathe us around.
Yeah, so that would be mine. What would yours be, babe?
I don't know. I was honestly, after our airport experience, I didn't have high hopes of this being any sort of safe or comfortable. But in general, other than being extremely hot, I can't help that.
Oh my god!
There's 2 ways to take that.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
All right.
Don't brag. I mean, gosh.
Don't brag. Go ahead. Be like, yeah.
All right, fine, brag.
Brag. Go ahead. Leave it swinging. Go on ahead.
I was impressed. I was pleased with it. I think I'm good on going to Disney for a while. I'm not going to push for another trip. I think we're going to stick with our end of August. When it comes to going again, I don't really need to go until August when we have our Epcot pass. If something comes up, I guess I would go. I wouldn't say no, but I'm not clamoring to get back into the park. It's enough of a risk to be exposed that I'll go there just a little bit. But yeah, they did a good job.
Well, Stephen, is there anything that you would do differently on your next trip that you didn't do this time? Now that given that you know what's up,
I would go there earlier. We got there later. Like I said, we started doing the theme park in around 1 p.m. If I could have gotten there earlier, avoid the heat of the day, and try and get some of the attractions done before the afternoon storms caused some delays, that would have been probably ideal. Other than that, I think we did it just fine. I'm not sad that we missed any rides. We did pretty much everything we wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
Ate where we wanted to eat. all that. Yeah, so overall it was a good trip, and we were able to get everything done. There's one other thing. Sorry, I had notes, and I was trying to go off of them a little bit, but also going off of memory. One other thing that I do have, it's sort of weird. The reservation system I mentioned at the beginning for annual pass holders, we have to book our reservations, and it is strange. So Disney World has 4 parks. You got Magic Kingdom, Epcot, Studios, and Animal Kingdom, but we're only allowed to have 3 passes. That did cause a little bit of a problem. So I guess circling back around, thank you, Sarah, for reminding me of that. I wish that Disney would allow annual pass holders to at least have just 1 pass per park, because right now we're just excluding Studios altogether, because we're going to go back to Magic Kingdom in October, Animal Kingdom in September, and Epcot in August. So it would be nice to be able to have that Hollywood Studios day there too. It doesn't make sense having 3 parks and having 4 parks and only 3 passes.
Mm-hmm. I will say, I know obviously other people on the Mohicans podcast have expressed, what are you going to do? Are you going to renew your passes or things like that? I think we will renew our passes, but I don't know how Disney can keep a lot of its annual pass holders if we're going to keep this reservation system.
If we see a price hike too, cool.
Yeah, and that's the other thing.
That'd be a big red flag for me.
Mm-hmm.
Price hike on very, very limited touring.
Well, the Downs guys, we appreciate you taking one for the tribe, as it were.
Yes.
And hitting the parts.
Boy, that's hardcore.
It is. We definitely appreciate it, and we appreciate you going live. I'm sure the Mohicans appreciated that. And
Always fun.
Yeah, we look forward to hearing more from you from the parks as you decide to experience those things. Although I don't know if they're going to come as frequently as they used to be.
Just don't go to the plane. That's the plan. That's the moral of the story right there.
Just avoiding airplanes. I'll go live in the parks anytime I'm there. If anyone wants me to go live at Springs too, I'll probably go into Springs more often than the parks. But
that could be interesting too. Yeah, absolutely. And you can definitely follow us on social media, especially on Facebook. He'll go live there and various other media places that he can. So definitely follow us. And look, y'all, if y'all coming through New Orleans, hit us up. We're around.
Definitely will.
Socially distance, whatever, and I'll spray you down with a bunch of greasy things to keep everybody
That's what
safe.
I'm talking about.
I know you like that part. But guys, thank you very much for coming on the show and giving us this report, man. This has been awesome.
Awesome. Great to talk to you guys.
Yeah, always a pleasure.
Mask up.
Well, guys, we hope you enjoyed that discussion as far as the news goes and COVID time visit to Magic Kingdom. MagicRA.com is where you can find more about us. There you'll find our social media links, past episodes, and more. Also, you can get in touch with us through the following ways to share your opinion. Shoot us an email at show@magicRA.com. Leave us a voicemail via our SpeakPipe widget on our homepage. Or you can call or send us a text message at 1-815-MOHICAN. That's 1-815...
Mohican
669-4226. And of course, we got a couple of guys that do things outside of the podcast. First of all, we got Eli, does things with comics. Take it away, sir.
Hey, Rob Liefeld here. Deadpool, Cable, X-Force, Domino, Marvel Comics, Image Comics, all of it. You guys, what is up? Eli Ivory. What a great name. Eli Ivory, comic guru. I'm here to talk about you. I am here to say, check out ivorycomics.com. That's right, you. Check out ivorycomics.com. ivorycomics.com. If you're not doing that, you're missing out. You're missing out. The Savages comic cannot be beat, cannot be surpassed. You need to check it out, experience it for yourself, and you know the story. It's all about the glory. Congrats to you and all the magic that you're making with your Ivory Comics, Eli Ivory, comic book guru. Check out ivorycomics.com, comic book guru, Eli Ivory, the whole package. Deadpool said to. Do it. ivorycomics.com right now. Liefeld out.
And of course, you could always go to ivorycomics.com. Like Mr. Liefeld said, that man's a genius. Listen up to him. And of course, you can find a link to this podcast so you never miss a beat. You can also find me on Facebook, Eli H. Ivory. I'm always there as long as you're a real person and not a bot. That's really cool. Project Geisha has a Facebook page. You go to facebook.com and look up Project Geisha right there. Instagram, eIvory504. And of course, on Twitter, you can find me at Hancock10166. Boy, I tell you what, Rob Liefeld, boy, that's the best glory to tell my story. Thank you.
And if you want to book a vacation so you go hang out with Downs on the grounds and get one of our pins, you can do so through Lee. Lee, tell them how to book this vacation.
Just give me a call at 832-431-1621. That's 832-TOVID, 832-TOEVID. You can email me at lee@magicourway.com. Check out the Facebook page at facebook.com/Lastovica Travel. That's LASTOVICA Travel. Instagram, you can find me at You Got a Friend in Lee Travel. So if you do any of that, we'll get you hooked up and booked up with
Tovidavica.
In addition, y'all, there are so many ways to support the show as a whole, and you can find them all on our website, magicourway.com. Any way in which you can support the show is deeply appreciated. We also want to take a second and thank you for being a loyal listener, and we love hearing from our listeners. All opinions are always welcome in the Magic Our Way podcast, so make sure you get in touch with us today. Mohicans, ladies and gentlemen, we say Kwaherini. My name is Kevin.
And I'm Danny.
Magic out.